Welcome back everyone to the module of nailing down our rehab costs. We really want to hammer home how important it is to have a tight estimate of your construction costs and what it means when you're looking at getting financing for your projects. The biggest mistake many investors make is underestimating a project and finding yourself in a situation where you run out of money because you felt it necessary to try to estimate lower for the sake of getting the deal done. It will only put you in a very compromising and tight position that you don't want to be in and put you in a strain. I'll be the first to tell you this from experience because experience is a cruel teacher. It gives the exam first and the lesson later. For instance, let's say you calculated $3,000 for the installation of new bathroom tile in a bathroom but did not factor in the cost of tearing out the existing floor, and it added another $500 in cost to your project. It may seem minor, but mistakes like these can be costly, not only from the standpoint of the extra construction costs, but also the time included, because keep in mind, lost time equals more interest payments that are accruing, and that's more days away from a potential buyer that may close on your deal. Let's take a look at some of the consequences of miscalculating your construction costs, because these are going to be important. With that said, I know you realize that this is something we definitely want to avoid, so we can go about this one of two ways. Let's be straight and to the point about it. We really want to get our estimates just nailed down tight. Like my mom used to say, Sporty, no question is a bad question. I'm pretty sure your mom told you that too. And trust me, you better believe that. When it comes to construction and getting the job done right, it's definitely the time to put your game face on and mean business. Lay out some house rules up front with what you expect from your general contractor, and I believe that making sure that the general contractor has some skin in the game up front, because to me that's the best form of accountability. So you definitely want to get a minimum of 3 quotes. The second way you can get your estimate done is doing it yourself. When you're walking the house to see what improvements needed to be done and making a punch list of everything that you think you want to be done to the property, well, there's your list. And it's a good start, so start pricing out materials and get bids from subcontractors. Even if you go the route of hiring a general contractor and not doing the project yourself, it'd be a great idea to do this anyway up front, just so you can get a good working knowledge of what construction prices are for your area. You should know the cost per square foot for laying tiles, or how much are the roofers charging per square. I'm assuming that you're a novice in this, so it's good to know, just get an idea of these things. If you're going to do estimates yourself, it'd be a great idea to become familiar with Xactimate and watch some YouTube videos on how to utilize it efficiently. I utilize Xactimate, and the cool thing about Xactimate is not only is what adjusters use to generate estimates for damaged properties that have incurred insurance claim, but the software pulls in pricing data for items on a geographic basis. The cost of construction is not going to be the same in New York or California as it would be in Texas. So I've done some adjusting work in the past, primarily here in Houston after Hurricane Ike and Hurricane Harvey, which hit our city, and also say Hurricane Sandy as well. But go to exactword.com for details on Xactimate. It's a great tool. It's pricey, but if you're looking for something that's a little more cost effective, then you can download the Flip app and you can upload your estimates that you get inside of our worksheet. And it's going to give you the ability to track line items and help you build your project budget with efficiency. And we're going to go more into Xactimate as well. But in the meantime, the Flip app is for the beginner or inexperienced investors, and like I said, it's very affordable. It is a great tool for you to use. Like I said, I use both. I take a combination of things. So I'll take what we do in Xactimate, because I literally can go into Xactimate and just totally detail the entire project from beginning to end. I like to lay out my rooms and know what my square footages are. I like to know exactly what the ceiling heights are, so I can get a good idea as far as how much material I need, because that can kill your budget too, ordering more stuff than what you actually need on a project. And you'll have some, you could run into general contractors, subcontractors who can really rob you blind by just ordering stuff that you don't need and possibly taking it to another one of their jobs or their personal home. Who knows? So it's a good idea to pay attention to these up front. I don't want to scare you, but I'd rather just give you the whole 411 on this up front, and that way you don't lose any money. So we're talking about material and stuff like that. Like I mentioned, get various quotes. You can try Home Depot. They price match, and different retail suppliers. I've even gone as far as utilizing Amazon lately to find different vendors for different things. But I always think it's a great idea to get quite a few price quotes from different suppliers to see just where you can get the best pricing at. Some places will give you builder pricing, especially when you mention that you're a remodeler, a builder. And so, that's why this whole estimating thing up front is going to be so important, because it's going to give you a really, really good idea of what your budget is going to be. And also, if the second thing, if you're going to go in the route of hiring a general contractor, you got to say to yourself, hey, or if you say to yourself, hey, I can manage this project myself, that's great, no problem. People ask me all the time when they're just getting into business, where do I find my subcontractors that work for me? Well, I truly go find them. I've got my core set of guys, but sometimes, you may have somebody out of town. I go to different construction sites, and I actually find guys. I like to see the quality of their work and get a first-hand feel of how they work, how their work ethic is. Do they keep the job site clean? It's one of my biggest pet peeves is having a subcontractor come onto the job site and they don't keep the place clean. Leave cans and water bottles and all sorts of stuff laying around. That to me tells me how someone's going to treat my project. And at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff that we do now, especially in our new construction stuff, is $500,000 up. So I want to make sure I have someone that's going to be taking care of my project all around. Someone who's not going to be, tempted to steal material and things. So I do like to check references. I do love to go see their work, because I'm investing in this person to treat my project with respect and ultimately take it to that next level. So I can't stress to you to definitely take those same steps and don't leave anything to chance, because at the end of the day, the name of the game is definitely keeping your eye on the 8-ball. So as we close out this module, I want to talk about retainage. 10% is a good rule of thumb, underestimated for everything from vandalism, theft, just different costs that may be out of your control or you simply forgot take into account. And typically, if you're using private money or hard money, they're going to put a standard retainage in place. This just protects their loan and ultimately protects you in the process. So let's look at a sample deal where the lender is going to give you an ARV, and I'm going to break down this deal for you, and it'll give you an idea of what it means to have the 10% retainage and what your project will look like. We're going to break this down in the flipped app, so I'm excited about that. That way you can kind of see how these numbers work out. So, and before we go there, one thing that I personally like to do is when I purchase material, a lot of my vendors I have a line of credit with, so I order material from them. Then I pay for it on my credit card. I get my points from it. So I'm building a relationship with the vendor, building a relationship with the credit card company, get my travel points, and then from there, my lender, when they fund us on our draws, pay it off. So that's a little secret that you can take with you. But let's go into this deal. I'm gonna break down how this deal can work, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about as far as the retainage and everything else.